All right. Well, officially, welcome to Getting Started with Banktivity. Glad that you're here today. For those who don't know me, we haven't talked or emailed. My name is Nancy Libby, and I manage the support team here at IGG Software. And I've been around for 13 years or so, so I wear a few hats, but my main task is to work with the support team. All right, and I see some folks are asking questions, which I love. But if you wouldn't mind just waiting until the end of the webinar, I will be happy to stick around for as long as there are questions. I just want to get through the demo so everybody can see it. All right. So before I jump into the demo, I just want to point out now Banktivity, the new Banktivity, is actually 3 apps. Unlike previous versions, they were not, well, we had 3 apps, but these work seamlessly together under one subscription. So you no longer have to purchase the iOS app independently. So we're happy that we're able to share all 3 with one subscription. All right, so today I'm going to talk about the new Banktivity. This is actually my first webinar with the new version, so I'm excited about that. So I have all new slides and all new demos, so this is fun for me. So today I'll talk about the key features that are in Banktivity, the new Banktivity. I'm going to call it Banktivity 8. I can't stop. And I'm going to go through setting up an account and cleaning up transactions. I'm going to take a quick look at the goals and also the summary view. So I mentioned the subscription. I just want to, quickly go over that with you. All tiers, you have access to automatic downloading, cloud sync, the goal for paying down debt and building an emergency fund, and all tiers also provide technical support. So I know you can all read the screen here, but I've outlined bronze, silver, and gold here. So you can make the decision based on your financial needs, what tier works best for you. All right, so just some best practices before I continue on. We do suggest that you add your most frequently used accounts first. So that would probably be a savings account or a checking account, credit card account. And as you do that, you'll want to set up automatic downloading, which I will show you today. There are 2 options for automatic downloading, and those are direct access, and the other is OFX Direct Connect, which includes bill pay if your bank supports third-party bill pay. So you would just have to ask them about that. And then you'll want to add some loans and physical assets that you might have. And we'll go through cleaning and categorizing transactions. That's something that you'll need to do to make sure your reports and your budgets are all accurate. And then we do recommend saving your investment accounts for later, not to scare you. It's just they have a few more moving parts, so to speak. So the more you get used to using the app, the easier that will be. All right, so I'm going to create a new document. I'm going to show you how to set up your Banktivity ID. Some of you may have already started the trial, so you will have already done this. I'm going to add it. You'll show you how to add an account, set up automatic downloading, and then I'll show you how to sort of navigate the ledger to clean up and categorize transactions, and also the different ways you can sort the ledger in order to do bulk updating, and things on those lines. All right, let's get to the demo. All right, one quick check-in. You all can still see and hear me okay? I had some funky stuff happen in my last demo, and I don't want to repeat that. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, move some stuff around. Okay, so now the screen will get larger, I promise. So I've already used Banktivity, obviously. So I've got a few open or recent documents listed here, but you won't see those unless you have been using it and have created more than one document, which you can do. But I'm going to start with create a new document, and I'll make this larger now that I have that option. All right. So now you'll get the welcome to Banktivity screen, and most of you will say that you're new, unless you're upgrading or pulling down a CloudSync document. And the first thing you're going to do is create your Banktivity ID if you don't already have one. And I'll just choose, I'll use my dog's name, Raisin the dog. And I'm going to create my Banktivity ID, choosing create, and I will enter my first name, last name, that just happens to be my computer, email, password, and you'll want to confirm your password and your security question. I'll point out that we do have a lost password function, but we can't get you to your security question answers. So please just put those wherever you put all of your important passwords so you won't run into any trouble with that. Okay, I'm going to go back. And I'm just going to, because I already have a Banktivity ID, just gonna make sure I don't have any trouble there, I'm gonna sign in. Okay. And there's the dog, she's gonna bark. Okay, it's the joy of working from home, right? Okay, so we are going to start fresh, but you do have the option to import from another financial app, or if you've been using Banktivity on your iOS device, you can open a CloudSync document. But I'm going to start fresh. And you have two options here. You can create an account that is held at a financial institution, so pretty typical, checking, savings, credit card, or you can set up an account that's not held at a financial institution. You might have some cash on hand you want to track, or a privately held investment account. But I'm going to show you how to set up an account at a bank. So I'm choosing that and next. Now here's the list of all of the banks that Banktivity supports, which as you can see are many, many thousands. So rather than searching through the long list of accounts, you can just type the name here, and I'll actually I'm going to show you a different account. I know that's, I'm going to choose TD Bank and next. So you have three options with TD Bank. You can set up direct access. You can set up direct download bill pay for those banks that offer OFX, and those are becoming less and less, I should tell you. And then the third option is just to manually import your data, and that's perfectly fine too. So I want to show you direct access, a few more moving parts. So here is where I would log into my TD Bank account. It's the same username and password for your account online. So there's no separate login. And actually, I'm going to stop here because I don't want to enter any personal information, but I do have an account set up, so we're not missing much. What you will have to do to set up your trial, if you haven't already, is enter a credit card account, and then you'll have 30 days to test out the software, and you can cancel and not be charged, or you can love Banktivity and continue using it. So I'm going to cancel out of here and open my demo doc. And this is, in fact, my Chase account. I have no secrets on the World Wide Web. Okay, so my credit card account, these are actually not real accounts, but my credit card account has 4 new transactions since I last launched Banktivity. And you'll see the 4 here indicated, indicating the 4 new transactions. If when you download and you have more than 99 transactions, you will get an asterisk in this for this icon. it might be 100 actually. But so the first time that you import transactions when you set up your account, you'll likely see an asterisk there. Now, you also notice this new badge, and that's just indicating that these transactions have been downloaded in the last 24 hours. So once the 24 hours is up, those new badges will go away. All right, so to edit a transaction, you simply highlight it and hit the Enter key, or you can double click on the transaction to open the editor. So this actually looks good. The category that was chosen for this during import is actually correct. So I'm going to just say this is good. It's a withdrawal. The date's correct. It's cleared. Any transaction that is imported from a bank is considered a good source, so it is automatically cleared. So I'm going to save that. And these are actually different places, even though they both have river in them. I live in a river valley, I guess. So I'm going to change this Riverbend Farm so you can see what's going on behind the scenes. So groceries isn't a bad choice, but I'm going to just choose something else that doesn't exist. So coffee. And when I go to save this transaction, Banktivity is going to notice that this category doesn't already exist in the category list. So I have an option to add it here. Now I can just have a coffee category, or I can put it under another parent category. And in this case, maybe I could put it under groceries as an example, and then add that category. So now the next time I import transactions from the Riverbend Farms, it will come in as groceries coffee. So I'm going to save that. So you'll just want to go through and just check your transactions. I left a couple here uncategorized. Amazon Prime is a good example for a payee that you might not have one category for. So I've chosen not to use the create import rule option here because they're typically not the same type of transaction. So I'm just going to add it myself here. I'll just say home improvement for the demo, and I'll save that. You also notice that I have two IGG software Banktivity transactions here. I was doing some testing, so I purchased a subscription, and then I gave myself a refund. So I'm going to actually change this to a refund. I don't know if I have that as a category, but we'll find out. So refund, save, and yes. So you can create all sorts of categories that make sense to you. Now, what's going on behind the scenes when you make these edits, if you go to settings, I'm at the sidebar bottom left, click on settings, and then go to categories, you'll notice, let's see, what did I do? It was Riverbend. Where's my Riverbend? We didn't see it. Oh, here we go. So groceries, I added coffee under groceries. So there's my new category. Now, if I go to settings, payees, schedules, and rules, and go to import rules, now I can see Riverbend. If I scroll down, you'll notice that Riverbend Farms is now groceries coffee. So as I mentioned, next time you import transactions, they will be automatically categorized as such. Now you can also edit them here. So maybe you decide you don't want it to be groceries coffee. You can just double click, change the category, and then next time you import, it will use the edited transaction import rule. So just a few ways to kind of make it much easier for yourself as you use the application. It gets smarter and smarter. I wish it were that easy. All right, so now back in the ledger, a few things you can do. You can sort by any of the column headers. So maybe you want to sort by oldest to newest to find something. You can do bulk edits by clicking on the payee and clicking on the first transaction and the last, holding the shift key. So I've highlighted all of these transactions and now clicking on the control, pressing the control key on my keyboard, clicking, and I can change the category, I can change the transaction type. If it were a security transaction, I can also change the security and the payee. So just a few options to make it easier to do bulk editing. And we'll go back to sorting by date. Oops, I went the wrong way though. There we go. Okay, so now I'm back at the top of my ledger. So a couple more things you can do. If I double click on a transaction and I want to add a statement or a receipt to a transaction, you can do that. I've just saved one here on my desktop. I believe you can see that. I'm just going to drag and drop this receipt right into the image well here. And if I save this transaction, you'll notice there's this PDF file, which you can't read, but if you open the editor and click on the image well, you can enlarge the receipt. One that I've likely put in my pocket, it's all crumbled up. You can also forward it. You can take a picture of a receipt and add it that way. So a few options there. So I'm just going to save that. So that's the quick and dirty for editing transactions. One other thing I want to point out is transfer transactions. So for example, you might pay your credit card out of your checking account. So I'm going to go to my checking account, and I already have some, but if I add, so I'll just say Chase payment. And the category I want to use is the account that I'm transferring the money into. So in this case, it will be my credit card account. So you'll notice there's a it's a preceding dot in front of all of the account names. So now this is a category. And if I save this, oh, we may as well say how much it is. And it's, well, it doesn't matter if it's withdrawal or transfer, both will work, but I will say transfer. And we'll say it's $100, and I'll save that. And now if I go to my credit card account, I can click on it, or I can just use the arrow here, and it'll bring me right to that transaction. So pretty simple. And if you are downloading both your credit card and your checking account, this will happen automatically. The category should be, the account should be assigned to each of these transactions. All right, let me go back to my keynote here. All right, so I'm going to take a quick peek at the summary, and there are two key numbers to take note of. One is your net worth, and that's simply how much am I worth? So the money you have, the money you owe, and then your savings rate, and that's am I spending more than my income? That's a nice number to be able to see. So let me go back. So many keys here. Oops. So the summary is up here, top of the sidebar, and there's a lot of data here. So your current worth is indicated here. So that is your cash, your total assets minus your total liabilities. So your assets are here. So the cash is let's see, we have savings minus your checking account. And then the asset is the real estate account there. And then of course your credit card debt. And so it shows your total assets and your total liabilities. If you want to look more closely at what this all means, you can click on any of the bars in the histogram to get a finer detail. I'm hovering right now over this, so it's just bringing me a pop-up to show me what's happening in December. But if I click on that bar, I get even a finer detail, so I can look at each day of the month. I can also click on any of the places in the pie chart and just get even another look at your data. You can go back and forth using these back and forth buttons, so you don't have to keep going back to the summary in the sidebar. And same here, here's your income and spending summary, your savings rate that I mentioned. So this is the last 365 days and the last 30 days. Now, mind you, this is demo data, so this isn't real life, as nice as that would be. And if you use tags, that would be indicated here. Same with investment accounts. If you have a budget set up, you would see your budget summary here, and then any upcoming transactions, which are indicated in your budget. So just a few things you can see on this main summary screen. And again, you can drill down to, get a finer look at any of the data here, and then go further. All right, I'm going to go back. Now, I know I'm going to go back to the keynote and just tell you that I'm going to show you the calendar and goals. So I'll just jump to that. So the calendar just shows you what the transactions that took place on a specific day. And one of the nice things is you can go forward and see if you have any transactions that are upcoming. You might have a big tax bill or something, and you just want to be mindful of that. Or if you're searching for a particular transaction, you can see it here on the calendar, and you can actually drill right down to it from the calendar in case you need to make an edit or what have you. And this is just the balance of that day or on that day, or what it will be in the future. All right, now the new feature, one of the largest ones in the new Banktivity, are goals. And there are a few here. You see, you can work towards eliminating credit card debt, build an emergency fund, save for stuff, save for education, and then lastly, who doesn't like to know when they're going to retire, or hopefully know when they're going to retire. So, you just be, let's see, save for stuff. So you make a plan, and Banktivity will just walk you through how to set that up. It'll ask you some questions, and then you'll be able to track that. All right, and in the envelope budgeting webinar that I hope to have out fairly soon, I'll go into that just a little bit further, how goals relate to your budget, your envelope budget specifically. So hopefully I'll get that out to you guys soon, and you can join me for that. All right, I'm going to go back. Oopsie, gotta click on the right thing. So as promised, I showed you the goals and calendar. And so what's next? So I would highly recommend setting up a budget and setting some goals. And you will want to commit to regular checkups. And in addition to, looking at your budget and your goals, you want to make sure that you're taking a look at the transactions that you're either manually or automatically importing, just to make sure the payees and the categories are set properly. Because really the power is, the app is using those categories to, figure out what your budget and your reports look like. All right, and if you need help, we are here. We do have frequently asked questions on the website, and I try to keep those up to date. So if there's an issue with a bank, for example, or need information on how to set up CloudSync on your devices, We also have, well, actually, those are indicated in the support article. The FAQs are a little more specific to just general questions. Specific to general questions, I don't know if that's proper. We also have live chat. That's Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time. And if we're not online on chat, you could submit a support ticket, and we'll help you that way. And if you have questions now, I'm happy to try to answer them. If I can't answer them, then I know who to ask. If you leave and you find you have questions, please come to support. They're on the front lines all day, every day, and can get questions answered super quick. You can also email me at webinars@iggsoftware.com, and I will help you that way. And a link to the video recording is going to be sent to you later today, so you can slow me down and in case I've gone too fast on any part of the demo, which I do because I try to get this done in a half an hour, and I'm darn close. So with that, if you're leaving, I want to thank you, and if you're staying, I want to answer your questions and thank you after that. So some of you have asked questions along the way. I'm sorry if you missed it, but I was waiting till the end so everybody could make it through the demo. But now I'm going to look at your questions, and hopefully I've answered them along the way. Okay, so my first question is, what's the purpose of the check mark? I believe I answered that. I'm going to just go back to Banktivity so I have that up. I'll go to my Chase account again. So I believe the check mark here, that's just letting you know that it's a transaction that was essentially, it's sent from a trusted source from the bank, that you've imported it and that it's cleared. And then the double check mark is that it's included in a statement. It's been reconciled. Okay, next question is, I don't want to corrupt my Banktivity 8 file by moving it from cloud to local document. What should I do? You can just, let's see, if you don't want to, you don't have to sync. I think that's what you're asking. You can turn off cloud syncing and just use it on your Mac. I think that's what you're asking. So it would just be a matter of turning sync off, and that's just by going to subscription, sync setup, and then you can disable it there. Next question, how do people usually handle income from friends paying for things? You could use, I'm just going to do this here. Could use an asset account. It's not really a loan account for money that is being or owed to you. So I think either asset or you could even use a cash account and just manually enter those transactions. There really isn't a loan account to yourself. Do you have support for direct download for the Apple Card? Yes, we do. Question, for example, you spend $50 at Costco on groceries and your friend transfers $20 to you for something you grabbed for them. You can create a split transaction. I apologize, I didn't show you that. So let's just use the first transaction. If I double click on it, so I don't know if this is the best example for money owed to you. if the full transaction was 27.97, I don't know that this is going to work actually. But you can split the transaction and have, you could make one an income. Let's see what happens. Let's just see. Need an income category here. Don't have many income categories, do I? Do I have any? Well, let's just do income, interest income, and call it $10. Oh, you said 20. Let's use 20. No, that says $20 income. Nope, that's not going to work. I would just have a category as reimbursement and just have it as a deposit, and you can indicate either in the memo or the note, or even a just have a specific category for having people pay you back, kind of thing. Let's see, next question. And if I'm not getting an answer that works for you, just let me know and I'll take another pass at it. Are there any limitations on the new Mac computers? Every time I try to do the retirement goal, it doesn't work. The computer doesn't have a limitation, but the tier might be preventing, the tier that you've picked maybe is preventing you from doing that. I believe retirement goal is the silver level or silver tier, so I would check that. Oh, okay. So this is just a follow-up. Do you mark the income as groceries? That's it. You can do that. You can mark this is about if someone pays you money, you can mark it as groceries as income. You can do that. I personally, for me, I would create a category, an income category, just to keep myself straight. Next question is around the calendar. Can I enter recurring payment dates like Discover due the 28th of each month? Yes, that would be a scheduled transaction, which you can make a few ways. One, if you enter it as a bill in a budget, it will automatically become a scheduled transaction. You can also, I'll take the Chase payment for example. You can make a scheduled transaction from that selection. So I'm just going to click on that, and then you can, set it up as a, depending on the time frame, it could be a month, every 2 weeks, what have you, and then you would see that in your calendar and in your scheduled transaction list. Okay, next question. Ooh, lots of questions. Okay. Imported transactions from Quicken, having trouble getting direct access to work on my accounts. What are your suggestions? It's hard to troubleshoot in a webinar. So this is a perfect example where it would be great to come to support, or I'm going to say come to support, so we can get the exact problem you're having if you're getting an error code or just not the right data is getting transferred. So please come visit us and we'll get you squared away. Lots of Quicken migration, so probably seen it. When I download checking transactions from my bank, they will have the date cleared. If I enter transactions, manually enter transactions, they will have the date paid. There will be 2 entries. Oh, so are there 2? You can merge these transactions. I don't have one that's manually entered, but you can just drag and drop the imported one onto the manually entered one, or vice versa. So just to merge those so you only have one. Will there be a webinar for reconciling using iPad or iPhone with V8? I don't have one, but I'll note that as one that is requested. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm getting to all of these. If you make a purchase and return it, can the refund count out the purchase when you do a report or what you have spent in each category? Yep. You can include any category you include on a report will appear, as money you spent for that category in the report. So yes, the short answer is yes. I'm using follow-up. I'm using middle tier. Don't remember if it's silver. It would be silver. It's bronze, silver, gold, or not for retirement. Also on the trial, does that matter? No, nope. It'll work as long as you've chosen silver. Oh wait, retirement account or retirement goal? Those are two different things. Let me see if I can. The goal. No, that should work on silver. That should work on silver. So come to support. We can get you squared away. I don't know why you wouldn't see that. Can you delete a category name which comes on Banktivity if you never intend to use it? Absolutely, you certainly can. So go to categories again. I'll pick one that I know I won't use. Well, I'll use most of these. I'll just do miscellaneous income. I can always add it. So I'm just highlighting it and hitting the delete key on my keyboard, and then I can delete or cancel. So just if you did use it, it will mark that or uncategorize any transactions that had that a category assigned to it. Let's see. Follow up on a scheduled payment. I'm going to make my payments manually, not using bill pay. I just want some way to remind me of when the credit card is due. I won't know the amount. It changes monthly. Do I still use the calendar the way you suggested? Yeah, the only way to add something to the calendar is to make a scheduled transaction like that. You can't literally type into the calendar, so you would have to create a bill. Okay, let's see. Another question. If you set up, oh, now you asked me a budgeting question. All right. If you set up all your envelopes based on current budget balances, and then you go back and categorize transactions from long before you were in Banktivity, does it mess up the balance of those envelopes? It won't, because you'll go that it'll show on the month that the transaction occurred. So it should not affect your budget, your current budget. So I don't have a budget set up in this document, but you can make edits for previous months. Now, if you categorize a transaction in the current month, it will affect your budget. You should come to my envelope budgeting webinar. Hopefully I'll have that set up the next week or so. Is there a payee list? The payees are here, all payees. So those are all of the people that are attached to my transactions. and you can add a payee. And you just click on the plus sign to add a payee. Something's hiding down here in settings. So your currencies, securities, accounts, tags, categories. It's really hiding. Anything else? So there are a couple there that I didn't quite answer, I think. But so come to support and we will get you squared away. Especially if you're having the one migrating data, I can't really do much on the webinar. And if a bank isn't updating or you can't get connected, those are got to ask you a few questions to get those answered. Yeah, thanks, Valerie. Yeah, it's always a little nerve-wracking to do a brand new webinar. So you guys were my first new Banktivity webinar. So appreciate you being here for that. All right. Thanks for the nice feedback. Appreciate it. Oh, posting scheduled transactions, John's asking. So at the top here, top right, you'll see this 5. If I click on that, this is the scheduled transactions, and you can post them here. So I've got some overdue ones because they're I haven't done that in the demo, but yes, you can post them here. Oh, thanks, Kevin. I had some fun with these slides. A little more bright than the last ones. Appreciate it. Oh, don't know what posting does. So if I, let's see, if I go to the posting scheduled transaction, so it's just going to appear in your ledger. So let's see, let's pick one, upcoming or due. Well, I'll just do the first one. So 7/13/20, a little overdue. If I post it, if I go to my, what did I say, 7/13, should post. And of course, I didn't make note of which account that was. There it is. So it's posted to my ledger. If I schedule a transaction, does it automatically pay? I don't have bill pay. I want to pay manually. Yep, there's no, the transaction won't be, a check won't be sent from Banktivity. I think that answers your question. You still have to do that manually. What is the difference between scheduled transactions and the calendar? I guess I didn't really tell you about. Okay, so these are transactions that have already happened, right? So this is today. I entered them today. So you're not going to see transactions, before they happen, obviously, because they're not in your ledger. The ones you will see are any bills that you've set up. Any scheduled transactions and bills are the same thing. So if you've created a budget, for example, and you've set up a recurring transaction for, let's just say, rent, and you will see that indicated on the calendar, when it's due. So that's where you'll see scheduled transactions. It's either happened today or something you've scheduled in the future. Does that help? This doesn't always refresh right away. Okay. Oh, good. Excellent. Lots of good questions. Thanks. Both the posted transaction from hitting post and the actual transaction show up in the ledger. Yes. So you have to click on, each of the transactions and, that you want to post, any transaction you want to post. And once you've done that, it will appear in the ledger. All right. Any more questions? Give you time to type. Sometimes it's figuring out how to ask the question. All right. Oh, yes. Yeah, Banktivity does run on Catalina and Big Sur. So if you're not running those, you have to upgrade. It's actually optimized for Big Sur. It looks great. And if you're a fan of dark mode, it looks fantastic. I wasn't a big fan for a long time, but now my eyes really appreciate the dark mode. I have it on my iPhone too. It looks good. My poor eyes a rest. All right. Not seeing any more questions. So we're here if you come up with something as you use the trial or after the trial, whenever. Please just come to the support site, click on chat, and we will help you out real time. As I mentioned, if we're not online, when you have a question, just send us a text. Wow, you can't text us. You can submit a ticket, and we'll respond that way. Oh, I do have another question. Never used downloaded files to update my checkbook. Can you discuss what happens if I enter transactions manually and then the bank transaction has cleared? So it's not, I think what you're saying is you're going to continue to manually add transactions, but also download transactions from the bank. Let me make sure that's what you're asking me. You can say yes or no. Yes, okay. So if that's the case, if you've manually entered a transaction and then you import transactions from the bank, you obviously will have a duplicate, and Banktivity will recognize that as such, and you can merge the two transactions by dragging and dropping one on top of the other. So that would get rid of your duplicate. Yes, so you will see both, but you can just merge them. If it's the same payee, same amount, same date, or a date within a few days of each other, then Banktivity will, that's the matching algorithm, or a check number. If it has the same check number, that will inform of a, great. All right. I want to cut anybody off, but I'm not seeing. Okay, pay online. Yeah, seems to be the way of the future, especially with a pandemic. We're buying most of our things online. Oh, good, great. Answered questions. Lots of good questions. Appreciate it. I always try to make note of new questions that make sense for the next webinar. So appreciate them. Forgot about the split transaction, so that was good. All right, folks, if there's not anything else, I'm going to send you off to have a great day and know how to find us if you need us. And want to thank you very much for spending time with me today. It's not always easy to carve out time for a webinar, so I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy Banktivity, and perhaps I'll see you around in chat or in an email.